Thanks for logging on to myfoxhurricane.com. Here we are watching another area. This time, though, this has been an area that's been pretty quiet all season long down into the Caribbean. But we now have Invest 98 and see that percentage up to an 80% chance of development over the next 7 days. And really, it's probably going to be within the next day or so. We're likely going to be talking about Tropical Storm Melissa. That's the next name on the list, the M Storm Melissa. And as you look at this tropical wave right now, you're seeing quite a bit of convection with this. There's still some wind shear on this northern side of the storm, but this is going to slowly work its way on towards the west, and it does look like it's going to work its way into an area which is really conducive for development. Lower wind shear. There's some dry air sitting on this western side of the storm, but not huge amounts of it. And there is certainly warm water. I mean, there has really been nothing going on across the Caribbean, so they still have a lot of very warm water down across the Caribbean. So just continue to watch this big flare up of convection. You see a pulse from time to time, and you see some of these other areas pulsing, but still fairly disorganized at the moment. But as we go through the next couple of days, we're seeing more and more of the computer models just really latching onto this. And what we're seeing is really two different ideas. You see, we've got one group of models that basically turns this to the north and eventually towards the northeast. And you're seeing a lot of models indicating that, and you're seeing some models also indicating more of a drift more towards the west. Now, I'll tell you, some of these that drift towards the west, you still see some of these move to the west some and then eventually move on towards the north. But you have to remember, if this drifts more towards the west, it's going to continue to work its way over some very warm waters, and that could allow, and initially this is a system that would be weaker, but that could allow this to actually become stronger because it would be sitting over some of these warm waters and have more time to actually develop, as opposed to a system that maybe took a quick turn and then started to head on towards the north. So we have to watch really for both of these ideas, both of these scenarios as we go through the coming days. But most of the models do kind of indicate more of a quicker movement with this storm, but it is certainly possible that this would sit, at least for a time, down across the Caribbean. So here we are looking at both of the AI models, the major AI models, the Google DeepMind, which is in this blue shade, and then we have the European AI model. And you are seeing this pushing across the Caribbean and lingering for several days, because here we are on Thursday and we still have this sitting down over the Caribbean. But then you see signs that the European wants to push this on towards the north, where you still have the Google DeepMind model lingering this, pushing a little bit further to the west, and then eventually starting to push it on towards the north. This is Wednesday of next week. So we are talking 10 days away, and this is still basically sitting down across the Caribbean according to the Google model. So that is something that we certainly have to take into consideration, that we could be dealing with this for several days as we head through the week into next week. Here we're looking at the European, the GFS, and our own Fox model, and we're seeing low consensus among these models. You do see that the GFS model turns this quicker, and then we have the Fox model and the European lingering this some down across portions of the Caribbean as we head through the middle of the week. Now, you look at some of those winds with this, and you're definitely seeing that could be a bit of an issue if this lingers and then brings some of these stronger winds across many of these islands. So lots to watch with this as we go through the coming days, and we'll keep you updated right here on myfoxhurricane.com.